just a bit of a question. You've had a bit of a layoff. What have you spent? What have you occupied your time with? What have you been doing?
Well, I think going through COVID, obviously worldwide, it made a lot of things different. But I took the time to build on a lot of things that I can't normally do when I'm in training camp. Because with my whole UFC career and other fights in the past, I was going fight to fight to fight. So I'd have a little layoff and then back into camp. So with a year off, I took time to build power, build speed. Work a lot on strength and conditioning. Now that I'm up at 205, I wanted to put on some size. And I just kind of went back and took the time that I didn't have before to work on things that I wanted to work. I also switched camps. I've got a whole new coaching staff this last year. And I think it's really going to pay off. And I think you guys are going to see it.
Obviously, you're facing the champ. How do you feel going straight back into the deep end? Are you kind of like looking forward to the challenge?
I am. He was a great champion. This is a new season. He did very well in the last one, and I think he's a great fighter. And that's kind of why I wanted that fight. With the tournament format, why not fight the toughest first? So I'm fresh. I'm healthy. I'm coming in first fight. I grew up wrestling when I was younger, and our coach would always, when we went to tournaments, he would always put us against the number one seed if we weren't the number one seed. And that was kind of his philosophy, was why not go after the toughest first?
Amazing. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Up next, Alex, Cage Side Press.
Hey, Chris. This is Alex from Cage Side Press. You fought at middleweight most of your career. I just wanted you to talk about the move to light heavyweight.
I was competing with Glory Kickboxing at light heavyweight, which was actually 209 pounds, 209 pounds, sorry. And I started my career even at heavyweight, and then light heavyweight, middleweight. I've been all over the place. I fought heavyweight just because I couldn't find a light heavyweight opponent just before COVID. So for me, I've always been a big middleweight. This is my natural weight. I only cut about, I'll walk around like 215 to 220. So it's an easy cut for me, especially closer and closer. I think I've got 3 or 4 pounds left. So this is my natural weight kind of that I train at all the time. So I feel great, and I don't have to deplete my body beforehand. The longer my career goes and the older I get, that cut is getting harder and harder. So I don't think I'm small for 205 at all. So I don't think there's a size disadvantage for me. I'm tall. And again, this past year I put on a lot more muscle, just doing strength and conditioning, explosive workouts. And I took that time to really build my power up and be ready for the light heavyweight division.
Awesome. Good luck.
Up next, Bobby Whitney.
Hey, Chris, how's it going? Bobby Whitney, Last Out Media. I wanted to know, I'm wondering if you caught any of the action last week, and then how does that prepare you going into this fight? You're fighting the champion, but as we saw last week, there are a lot of upsets in that cage. Not everything's going to go out the way people can write it down. Does that give you any more confidence going into your fight, seeing how anything's possible in that cage when you get those two fighters together?
I think it was interesting to see 2 double champions actually lose this last week. But their performance doesn't affect mine. Again, every fight is different. Everybody is different. I just have to stay focused on me. I don't need more confidence. I feel confident going into this. But I think PFL's done a great job at shaking up the roster. This season, every weight class, I think, is 10 times tougher than the past ones. They did their job with recruiting. Even when I look at my weight class, every single fight on there is tough. Whereas past seasons, no disrespect to any of those guys, but there were some lopsided matchups, I thought, in past seasons. And now this season, I think this is the toughest tournament in sports that we're going to see.
Thanks.
Up next, Tanai.
Hey Chris, Tanai Shah, MMA Island. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Ask you about your bubble experience. Obviously, it's a challenge for everybody, but how has it been in Atlantic City with the whole bubble experience?
It hasn't been the most pleasant. It's not ideal, but again, it's worse. There's worse that we could be in. I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to fight. So if I had to, I would do this for a year. Again, it's not ideal, but PFL has done their best to make this happen, and I appreciate all of them. Their staff has been working nonstop. I feel bad for some of these guys. They're running all over the place. They're doing their hardest. Going forward in the future, I would love it if there was a few changes. If coaches could come in a little bit earlier. I've been out here by myself for the most part. No coaches or training partners. I'm just lucky that there's some other Colorado guys on the card and guys I've become friends with in the past, so we've all been training together. So the struggle is there for sure, but again, like I said, it could be worse. I think that struggle, what's the word I'm looking for? The struggle really helps motivates for fights. I don't come from money or anything, so I've struggled my whole career coming up, and the struggle makes you hungry. So I'm just taking it as a good thing and using this to motivate me even more.
Awesome. One more question, if you don't mind. You said the guys from Colorado have been helping you out. How's it been training with those guys?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we train back home. So Nick Rorick is actually in the exact same tournament as me, same weight class. And we spar together and train together back home. We decided we're not fighting each other this fight, so we might as well just keep it the same. And if we cross that path, then we'll deal with it. And then I'd also like to say a big thank you to Joel Zeffirino and his team. They've really taken me in, let me do jiu-jitsu with them, hitting pads. We've made it work. I'm still training super hard, just like I would at home. So it's been great, and I'm super fortunate and thankful for the friends I have here.
Thank you, Chris. Good luck on Thursday, man.
Thank you.
Breeze.
Hey Chris, this is Breeze with MMA Breeze. My question for you is, you're coming into PFL. This is going to be your first fight in PFL. Were you looking at any other organizations, and if so, what brought you to PFL, and what intrigued you the most about fighting for this organization?
I was. I still have a good relationship with the UFC. I was in talks with Bellator. I'm still currently signed to Glory Kickboxing. So there were some other options on the table, but I really like the tournament format that PFL does. Each season has gotten better and better. The production value is great, and obviously that $1 million bonus at the end is a huge calling. So the fact that PFL is a tournament format, I can stay active, was a big plus for me. Bellator was telling me I might fight once a year. Where with the UFC, every fight I had, right when I was done, I was texting the matchmakers, like, when can I fight again? We only have so long in this sport, and I'm not getting any younger, so I want to get as much out of this as I can. So the fact that it's a tournament, I know when my next fight is, and they're back-to-back, and I can stay busy and make some money.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nadim.
Hi Chris, it's Hamad Mir from MMA Diagnosis. I was just wondering, your opponent now, he's a PFL champion, and your experience now within Glory Boxing, you feel like you have an edge in the stand-up between, as both of you are stand-up fighters, do you feel like you have the edge over the competition in this tournament with your recent kickboxing tournament?
I guess we're going to find out real soon. I've faced top competitors all over the world for a majority of my career now. Sorty does bring a lot of power. We've seen that in each fight. So there's definitely a puzzle to figure out. Just because I have a background in kickboxing and striking doesn't mean anything, really. In the fight game, it's the hurt business. It only takes one punch sometimes. But I just need to be really focused in there and on my game. I think if I'm on that night, then yes, I'm better. And we're going to find out.
Thank you, Chris.
Mike Owens.
Hello, Chris. This is Michael from Mike Owens Media. Your upcoming opponent, Emiliano Sorde, was the 2019 tournament winner. Now, obviously, the belt won't be on the line on Friday night, but does this almost feel like a unofficial title fight for you?
I'm sorry, was the question, it was a little hard to understand.
Sorry, I'll speak slightly slower. Your upcoming opponent, Emiliano Sorde, was the 2019 tournament winner. Obviously, the belt won't be on the line on Friday night, but does this feel almost like an unofficial title fight for you?
It doesn't actually. This is a tournament, so he is the defending champion. But the fact is, beating Emiliano Sordi, I just have more tough guys in mind. So I'm not going to be happy or content until this tournament's over. I can't get too high on myself if I beat him because there's a string of new guys in this tournament. So, I've done a lot of the mental work to really stay focused after this. Even with a big upset win, or if you guys want to call it an upset, with me beating Sordi, I got to stay focused and keep my head in the game because it's not over yet. This being the first round, I can beat him and see him again very soon. So I just have to stay, again, focused and not look too far ahead. It's not the title fight yet. There's a long way to go. So just keeping my mind in it and continuing forward.
Superb. Best of luck for Friday.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Hey, Chris. So my question is, when it comes to all the competitors in this division, who do you see would be the toughest matchup against you?
I think that's the matchup ahead of me, honestly. Like I said, Sordi's a very tough opponent. I look at him as, because he's the defending champion, he's the toughest guy in this tournament. He's already proven that, none of us that are in this tournament other than him have proved that he can go through the whole thing and win it. So right now, this is my toughest fight. And I do believe that he's probably the toughest guy in this tournament, aside from me.
Great. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mason?
Hi, Chris. This is Mason from the Sports Session podcast. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I just wanted to ask, after your stint in the kickboxing fights, apart from striking, what is the single biggest advantage that has given you?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit at the end of that question.
After your stint in kickboxing, what is the biggest advantage that time has given you?
Again, the time has given me a chance to build things I wanted to. I've been working a ton of wrestling. I've kind of been working all over the place. But the biggest thing I wanted to build with my time off was power. I've always beat guys up in the past, but I've never had that crushing power. And I think working with my new boxing coach, Jake Ramos out of Genesis, he's really fine-tuned a lot of things, and I think I'm hitting 10 times harder, and I think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of these guys.
And what do you have that your opponent does not?
Man, again, I guess we're going to find out. I haven't watched too much tape on him, honestly. I focused this entire camp on myself and just being a better fighter all around, because even after Emiliano, there's another guy and another guy and another guy. They're all different styles. So I just have to make sure that I'm on my best game. But I would guess that I'm a lot better on the ground. I was supposed to get my black belt this past year in jiu-jitsu. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 15 years, and I've been a brown belt for 8 years. And my jiu-jitsu feels great. I feel like I can roll with anybody in the world.
Best of luck on fight night.
Thank you.
Ronald? Oh, I can't hear you, Ronald. I apologize.
Hello?
Okay, there you are.
Oh, there. Okay, let's do it again. Chris, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, look. Let's get real about this. My name is Ronald E. Smith. You brought up before that you had a struggle to get where you had. You had to struggle to get where you were, and you weren't given anything. So, what this tournament has at the end, what would it mean for you to win it all?
It would mean everything. Obviously, that $1 million is a huge life-changing moment, but for me, being world champion, this is a lifelong goal of mine. Money comes and goes, but being champion in PFL would be a huge mark on my career. I've had a really long career, and holding the belt in one of these top organizations is definitely a huge motivating factor for me. All in all, the whole thing would be life-changing for me.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Yes. So, Chris, Raz here from Everton MMA area. So, there's been a lot of talk about this, 1 million prize. So, think I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. What's the first thing you buy that's extravagant if you win the PFL at the end of the season?
Extravagant? I don't know. I'm not a very extravagant person.
Okay.
Not with my money, but I'll definitely do some traveling. You know, traveling and fighting are two of my favorite things to do, and I think I'll need a break from fighting by that time. So I'll definitely, hopefully, with all this COVID stuff, everything is open back up, and you know, I can travel a bit, see the world. It's always been a goal of mine to go to every country in the world, and so far I've checked off a ton of them, but there's plenty more.
Okay, and just to follow up on that, any kind of best possible outcome now for Thursday? Obviously, the win is the main focus, but are you going to be trying to push for the finish?
Absolutely. In this tournament, winning's not enough. It's got to be finishes. You can win both fights by decision and not make the playoffs. Best case scenario for me is to go in there and finish without getting punched. It's not always likely, but it wouldn't be my first time. You know, I've finished plenty of fights without ever taking a single shot. So, you know, I'd love to say that's best case scenario right there.
And would you have a round prediction maybe?
I mean, if that's my best case scenario, it'd probably have to be round one. I'm no Floyd Mayweather in there, let's be honest. I get hit a lot. So I don't think I'm making it more than one round without getting hit. So if I'm going for best case scenario, it'd have to be round one.
Cool. Thank you.
Last question for Drew.
Hey, Chris, this is Drew Pierce from FightLeague.com. Some early gambling odds put you at plus 285 to win. Do you believe that you're really that big of an underdog, or is that kind of from a lot of the hype that your opponent is the former champ?
I love it. You know, I won't lie to you. I like gambling on sports, so keep me as the dog. Let my friends make some money.